2025 is going to be a crazy year in the game of real estate. Why? Because we were missing millions of homes and interest rates have finally dropped. And it's going to cause the price of real estate to go up a lot. And yet it's not going to solve the real problem, the housing shortage. So today we're going to talk about what is the housing shortage and what is it going to take for it to fix. And if you can understand that, then you can understand how long of a run you can have in the game of real estate and almost predict how much money you can make. And for me, I'm planning on making millions. And if you want to join me for that ride, stay tuned and check this out. So according to the National Association of Realtors, NAR, the supply of homes for sale in the US, which is typically measured in months of housing supply, reached a record low of just 1.6 months in January of 2022. It basically meant that while we had this huge demand for real estate, we had a very small number of homes on the market. And while inventory has increased considerably since then, we're now sitting at 4.2 months as of August 2024, making the supply still considerably lower than the demand. Now, the reason why we need to talk about supply and demand is because imagine for just a moment, the year is 2020. You had just bought a house for $220,000 and you fast forward through the pandemic, 24 months, and that $220,000 house is now worth $320,000. And you're saying, why did this happen? Why did my real estate appreciate $100,000? Because, dude, if I had had 9 more homes, I'd be a millionaire. Well, it all comes down to supply and demand. And a better way of thinking about that is human population and number of houses to live in. So right now, population has been expanding at a greater rate than we've actually been able to build homes. And the disparity is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And as we've measured it in the last couple of years, we've literally gone from missing a couple of million homes to now missing 3, 4, 5, even as much as reported 6 million missing homes. So imagine that there's like millions of people wanting real estate, but there's not enough homes in the market. What that's going to do as rates come down is it's going to skyrocket the price of the real estate. So on the one hand, it's like, well, rates dropped a whole bunch. Now that mortgage is going to cost me $600 less a month, but now the price just went up another $50,000 or $100,000, which is going to cost me another $600 a month. This problem is going to take some time to solve because historically in our entire country, we have never had this big of a disparity. Millions of Americans wanting homes and missing millions of homes. By the way, it's really hard to have a real estate market crash when you have such a shortage of real estate in the country. Kris, how long do you think it's going to take to solve that? I'll tell you at the end of the video. So why do we even have a housing shortage? Well, it is true we have rising material costs, we have supply chain issues still all the way back from the pandemic that negatively impacted housing supply, but also this problem predates the pandemic. I need you to go all the way back to 2008. Do you remember what happened in October? We had banks failing, we had the stock market drop, but we also had the real estate market drop. Home prices had gotten out of control, and we got to a point where we didn't have people wanting homes. We overbuilt. We had now more homes than we had population of people wanting homes. And so what happened nationwide? The real estate market crashed, and in some places it crashed really, really bad. And that meant that for years we're like, we're on hold. We can't build anything. No one's building houses at all. We got to literally make more babies, and we need people to migrate into this country. And within 5 years that happened. And then all of a sudden it was like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's now 2014. We haven't been building homes for the last 5 years, but population has been increasing and people have been moving here. We better start building homes, except now we're years behind and we've never caught up. We went from missing hundreds of thousands of homes to now millions of homes. And it's going to take a hot minute before we actually work ourselves out of this mess. And there's a way for you to capitalize on that because there's a problem. There's not enough real estate. And if I can show you in the end of this video how to buy the right kind of real estate, I can show you how to make a fortune. Okay, Kris, but how have interest rates played a role on shaping this housing market shortage? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, for the last couple of years, rates have been really high and they've just started coming down. Investors saw their purchasing power plummet as mortgage rates increased in 2023 through most of 2024. But now, which by the way is the highest point we've seen in the last 20 years, but now as rates are normalizing, it's going to get people transacting real estate. And don't forget, there's a ton of people in this country that own a home that they haven't listed it because rates were high. They've been waiting for rates to come down so they could list their home. So we're about to see a bunch of inventory hit the market. We're about to see a bunch of people want to buy and transact real estate. And that mayhem is going to drive the price up. And if you know where to be at the right time, which is yesterday or latest right now, at the end of this video, I'll show you what to do. So really, let's talk about how this shortage affects you. Many prospective sellers are unable to list their homes because they can't afford the price of a new property at the current mortgage rate. But in turn, a lot of homeowners would prefer to downsize or upgrade or simply move on. They're just kind of waiting it out. Everyone's basically been waiting for rates. So what it means is we've got buyers on the one hand that are likely to bear the brunt of the problem. You see, a lack of housing options creates a very competitive market in which many buyers have to compete for a few available properties. And this is actually the great news for investors, because imagine for a moment that you knew where to go in the country, you knew how to buy the right kind of real estate, and you were watching it lift off, but you found a way to do it hands off. You weren't landlording, you didn't have to do any of that stuff. And now all of a sudden the price of your property is skyrocketing and people are bidding for it. What it means for you is you're in a position to make a lot of money. On the other hand, it produces a little bit of a different problem, which is how do you invest in a competitive market? A competitive market means below market value deals come up often in an attempt to sell a home quickly. And if you can be on top of them before anyone else does, then you're literally going to possess massive ROI at your fingertips. ROI stands for return on investment, and it has to do with I put a little bit of money out, but then I got a lot of money back. So Kris, how long is this going to last? I think it's going to take us the better part of a decade for builders to build enough homes to get us out of the pit of millions of people wanting homes. That means for the next decade, I'm not looking for a crash. I'm looking at the boom, and it's right in front of me, which is why I'm buying as much real estate as I possibly can. How you take advantage of this is actually really simple. The United States is made up of 324 markets, and the top 5 markets are where you're gonna make the most money. I know where those markets are. I can actually do the deals for you. I can make it totally hands-off for you, and I can help you make a fortune. And let's just quantify that for illustrative purposes. It means that over the last decade, on the last 2,130 rentals, I'm averaging 60% annual returns, which by the way is really, really big. And if you really want to do a deep dive on how I'm making all that money and how you can too, click the link below, learn about partnering with me, and if we're a fit, we'll go into the market together and we'll crush it. So what do you do next? You click the link below, you fill out your information. Me and my team will be in touch with you and we'll show you exactly what your options look like, because chances are you could be a multimillionaire in the game of real estate, but you don't know the path. You don't know how to get there. You're looking at your finances, you're looking at your credit, you're saying, I don't have the money, or I don't think I can actually do this. Let me be the judge of that, because often when I am, I've got hidden options that you're not even aware of. Click the link below, fill it out, let me prove it. So you're still here, which means I've got something super special for you. Would you like to know right now the worst markets to buy real estate in and the very best markets? Click right here, watch this video, let me show you.